Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink, Japanese edition, or shall I say, konnichiwa, Japanese edition. Okay, so welcome to a Japanese edition of Eat, Smoke, Drink. It is hot up here in my studio. In winter, this will be fantastic, but it's currently in the middle of summer. And I am sweating. My balls are dripping. You can't see it, but it's literally dripping with sweat. Dripping. So, anyway, as you see in my last video, I did the Hakushu 12 and the Hakushu 18. Now, let me do the most famous Japanese whiskey known to man, and that is the Yamazaki. Okay, so the Americans would say Yamazaki, the Australians would say Yamazaki, the Americans would say Yamazaki, and then you'll get the Japanese saying Yamazaki. Okay, so that's how you got to say it, just like Tom Cruise, the most Japanese person in the world. Okay, Yamazaki 12, and we have the Yamazaki 18. I have the last remnants of it in a sample bottle. This is about 45 mils. I didn't want to leave it in the bottom. As you know, if you leave whiskey tiny bit in the bottom, you got to drink that shit or else it's fucked. Okay, so anyone out there with whiskey that much in the bottom, it's been sitting there for months, you might as well urinate in it and use it as fertilizer. Okay, it's bloody pointless. Absolutely pointless. It's fucked. It's gone. It's destroyed. So let us talk about Yamazaki. We have a $200 bottle over here, Yamazaki 12, actually probably 300 depending on where you are in the world. It used to be cheap as shit, but nowadays it is quite expensive. And they've replaced it with the Yamazaki Distillers Reserve, which is a piss take. But as the Japanese whiskey scene gets more and more ridiculous, they take in the piss more and more. Taking the piss more and more. So 43% both bottles, okay. Rumor has it that these have the tears of giants. Okay, they went to the mountains and there are giants and they milk the tears. I made that shit up just now. I don't even know how I thought about it. I'm sorry. It's a bit obscure. So supposedly no one really knows what the barrel blending is, but there is an element of Mizunara in there which makes it super unique. Mizunara is a Japanese white oak, if you're not aware, and it is very hard to get. It's, in fact, I believe it is illegal to export, essentially. You need special permission to export that commodity. Okay, so it is as rare as NVIDIA Blackwell chips. You can't take that to China. That shit ain't going to China. You have to smuggle it in 5 different countries and then it goes to China, okay, because it's so good. But it's just a barrel, so I don't know if it's that good, but let's see how it goes. Yamazaki reputation is absolutely insane, okay. In our tasting, everyone was so excited to taste it, but what I'm trying to decipher is Yamazaki 12 versus 18, 6 years older, how does it compare? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I always seem to go with the younger on this side. I don't know why I'm going on that side. Let's just swap. There we go. Okay, I don't know. OCD. Sorry about that. Little fucking OCD there, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's get sniffing. Okay, once again, I've got my 2 butt plugs. Okay, a little salt and pepper shaker going on. Okay, a little butt plug. Distinct smoke, cotton candy. It smells a little bit, the 12, it smells a little bit like there is some sort of door grease. Cherry juice. There is a distinct medicinal note to that, a distinct medicinal note. I can't put my finger on it. But there is a distinct medicinal note. Aniseed, clove, licorice, a spice bouquet, like a bag of spice, as if I'm cooking pho. Okay, as if I've got this massive stock pot, I've got a little pouch of spice cooking pho. It's got a bit of spice to it. It's weird, I know, but I'm getting it. There's a greenness to it as well, a vegetal note. But the nose is phenomenal. Can't fault it. And the nose seems stronger than the actual ABV, which is really unusual. It smells like it should be about 46%, maybe even 50, but orange jam, candied orange, orange peel, toasted orange peel, slight note of that. All right, let's sniff the panties of the Yamazaki 18. Whew, okay. Wow. There is definitely a heavy sherry component there. I can smell that condensed fruit, fruitiness, fungal dryness. I would bet my left nut, only my left nut, there is a big sherry component there. There's a good sherry component. Because my left nut is the runt. His name is Ernie. So I'm not willing to part with my main prime nut. Whoa. Oily, woody, toasted wood, toasted sesame. There is a distinct smokiness to that. It smells a little bit like cough syrup. It smells a little bit like a medicine, like a herbal medicine. That is unusual, but a very deep and saturated nose for sure. The nose is viscous compared to this one. The nose is lighter, more vibrant, more punchy. This one is deeper, softer, more rounded, but a lot more intense. But still 43% ABV. So they would have had to water down this much, the 12, a lot more than the 18. Let's sip, all right? I am getting that medicinal note on the palate of that 12. Medicinal, herbal, licorice, aniseed, smoke. A little bit like Play-Doh, really bizarre, a little bit like Play-Doh. Like it's just rained in the forest. And I'm getting a little bit of that dirtiness, which is quite interesting, which also associates a bit of sherry cask in there for me. I'm not saying it's all sherry cask, but there's definitely, in my opinion, a sherry component there. There's a dryness to the palate. There's a weird fragrance to it I can't put my finger on. I got that with the Hakushu as well. Actually, all Japanese whiskeys, I have like a weird fragrance I can't put my finger on. I don't know what it is. Slightly metallic. This one here is slightly metallic, rusty. Like what your fingers smell like after you've touched coins. You know what I mean? Like that metallic, like that brassy, metallic taste. I hate touching coins. I don't get fucking coins. Why? What's the point? There's not as much youthfulness on that. There's a little bit, but for a 12-year-old, it's actually relatively involved with the barrel. Okay? When I say involved, I mean it really had sex with that barrel good. Like, balls deep, you know, proper involved. I don't get much new make out of that 12. On the very, very, very back palate finish is a little bit, but not a huge amount. It's actually pretty good. I know this sounds weird, but there is a weird smell of like a latex glove. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, that's my hand, the latex glove. I've been giving myself a prostate exam. No, seriously. There's a little bit of a latex glove smell to that. which is bizarre. But anyway, hey, maybe it's just my nose today. Maybe it's not supposed to be there. And no, I did not give myself a prostate massage. Let's sip the 18. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't fault that shit, baby. Can't fault that. That is a pleasurable sipping thing. That is a pleasurable sip, I must say. A little fruitiness, some liquid raisins, cinnamon, nutmeg, fruitcake, a little bit of vanilla. There's that weird fragrance, I don't know, I've put my finger on. There is enough smokiness for some intrigue. I love it. There's definitely smokiness in that. I don't know where it comes from, but whatever they're doing with the malt drying or the whatever, there's definitely a smoke to that. I'm not talking peat, just pure smoky, okay? Take a hot glass, a little bit of burnt wood, fireplace in the distance. Tastes like you're walking around the streets of Asia with an incense. It's weird. I don't know where to put my finger on it, but there's definitely an incense taste to it, like a weird flavor that scotch just does not have. Scotch does not have. Except for maybe Ben Nevis, because Ben Nevis is essentially most Japanese whiskeys. Oh, all right. That's a bit controversial, but hey, it's fucking true. All right, so... Okay, once again, okay, the gap between the 12 and the 18 is massive. Okay, let's go through the pricing structure first. You're paying about $200 for this thing, and you're paying with this with your runty nut. Okay, so this is thousands of dollars. This is a couple of $100. My pick on this is actually, I would argue that the 12 Yamazaki is better than the 18. The 18 is not bad. Clearly, it's a first world problem, but it's just not that good. Even if you take the price away, even if you halve the price of the Yamazaki 18, I think the 12 is such a good whiskey. It's got oomph, it's got depth, it's got complexity, chewiness, a little bit of oiliness, smoke. It's got just enough youth for zestiness and punch, but enough age that it doesn't taste like you're sucking on the still mouth. You know what I mean? Like you're sucking on the moonshine dick. So it really is a banger. This Yamazaki 12 is a friggin' banger, man. That is just an insanely good quality whiskey. And for the price, it ain't so bad. In New Zealand, that's 400 New Zealand dollars. But in most places around the world, you can get that for a couple of hundred or less. I think that Yamazaki 12 as a standalone dram is actually really, really good. Timesing by 20, okay, or 15 to 20, the Yamazaki 18 on the secondary market or most primary market is between 10 to 20 times the price. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. No way. No way that's even close to worth it. It's not a bad dram. It's great, okay? It is like actors and heirs and heirs to massive wealth complaining about inflation, okay? That Yamazaki 18 is a first world problem, but it really just isn't there. If someone was to blindfold me and tell me, I would still go for the Yamazaki 12. It just has so much more flavor and excitement to it, okay? I must say, the Yamazaki 18 is disappointing as fuck. I mean, for something so expensive, even though when it was cheap at that one time, but especially now, it is really a disappointment. It is like that child with a high-ass IQ, got good grades in school, you know, and they were just like so promising, and they end up a fucking drug addict, and then it takes 10 years to turn them around. That's what Yamazaki 18 is. A fucking disappointment. I would even go out of my way to say that I would rate it in this order: Yamazaki 12, Hakushu 18, Yamazaki 18. Okay? That's how I'd rate it. But look, Japanese whiskey has gotten so much fanfare. I maintain that so far every Japanese whiskey I have reviewed can do with 3% more ABV, just a little bit more flavor, just a little bit more complexity and depth and power and punch. Unfortunately, they just don't do that. Japanese palates, obviously, they want something clean, clinical, and soft, and that's just not the way it goes. It's just not the way the cookie fucking crumbles, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. But nevertheless, look, like I said, it's a first world problem. It's a great whiskey. It's just not worth the price. I hope you're enjoying my Japanese series, by the way. So look, I have 2 more videos of Japanese whiskeys coming up. I think 2, maybe 3, 2. One of them is I'm going to review one of the newest and youngest distilleries. Actually, I'm going to review the 2 youngest and newest distilleries in Japan, Akeshi and Shizuoka. Okay, Akeshi, Shizuoka. Okay, so I'm going to review those 2 distilleries next. Why am I doing that? Hakushu and Yamazaki have pedigree in Japan. Okay, they've been around for a long time, so they have this ridiculous pedigree. And those other ones are more new generation distilling. New blood have come in, new investors, new passion, and so they've come in and created their own style and cut their own style in the pie. And so I want to go through them as well. I mean, Japan is a new world whiskey, but in Japan standards, within Japan, I would say that the other 2 are new world because of new generation. So it'll be a cool comparison to see what those are like and my thoughts on those as well. But anyway, until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. And tell me your thoughts. What do you think of the Yamazaki 18? Is it worth the money, or is it just a giant circle jerk? Is Yamazaki 18 what lawyers drink to tell people, yeah, I charge $1,000 an hour? Or is it really that good? What do you think? Okay, what do you think? You tell me, because I want to know your opinion. I want to know your opinion. Until next time, cheers.